Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how you can apply a background gradient to your page, or how you can apply a background image to the page. So let's start off with the gradient. Well, first of all, we need to target the actual page itself. Now I need to be working on my style sheet, and I know that the selector that controls the page itself is the one called the body tag. So I need to target a HTML tag called body. So I'm just going to type in body. So I just click the plus here to add a new selector, and then I typed in that I wanted to target the body tag. If I now come to background, I can come and choose a gradient. So over here you can choose your color schemes in terms of your gradients. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click this color here and say that I want sort of greens. So I'm going to go for a dark green. Click this one here and say I want greens again, but I want to go for like a sort of a lighter green. Let's have a look at how that's going to work. Something like that. I might go back to this one and make it slightly darker. There we go. So I've got a gradient that's going like this. I can then just add this gradient to my list. I can change the angle of the gradient. So instead of it coming down from top to bottom, I could change this by moving this angle around. So I'm going to put that back to 180. You can also change the alpha. In other words, I can change this and make it more see-through, more transparent. So if I did have another image in the background and a gradient as well, I could start to see some of the image coming through by changing the alpha slider here, making that top one more sort of transparent. You can change here how much of the dark green is coming through by moving these up and down. So lots and lots of different kinds of options for you to play around with in terms of these. Okay, I'm just going to press enter, and that applies the gradient to my page. If we now just go and preview this in a browser and say that we want to save our changes to our style sheet, you can see here, look, the gradient being applied to the background of my page. So that's a really nice, neat effect that goes on here in Dreamweaver to apply gradients to your page. Just going to close that down. Going to come back to the body tag, come to the background area, and with gradient I'm just going to remove it. So I'm just going to take the gradient off, because now I want to show you how you can add an image. Now I want an image that's going to go across the whole of the background of the page. Now to do that, you really need to source an image which is a high quality, large image in terms of its pixel dimensions. So here I've got an image called Earth from Space, and it's 2000 pixels by 1000 pixels tall, so it's quite a nice big image, and that's what you need, is some kind of size like that for your image if it's going to be a background image. So background image, you go to URL, you just need to click here and then browse. Sometimes it comes off, you need to do it twice and go on the browse folder. I'm going to pick up my Earth from Space image and click open. Now because it's on the body tag, it'll apply it to the page, but there's a few settings that I need to change here. One is the background position of it. So I want it to be in terms of, I want it to be centered horizontally. I want it to be in the middle of the page, but I also want it here to be at the top of the page. So I want it to start at the top and be centered. So center and top is to set the background position. Background repeats, I do not want it to repeat. So I don't want it to tile itself across the page. If this was a huge monitor, the image would get to its edge and then it would start to repeat again. I don't want that, so I want no repeat on there. So what we'll do is we'll just have a quick look in the browser and see how that looks. So we'll just go here and preview. And what you'll see is, you'll see that I've got my background image, and as I scroll you can see the background images here. But see, it's not repeating, so it's not repeating down the page here, it's just stuck there. Okay, what we'll do is we'll have a quick look at what we want to do with this. So if I go back to the background again on my body tag, so we just come here and click this, I've got a few other options as well. So background size, I'm going to tell it to cover the page. Now what that means is it will take the image and it will make sure that the image covers the entire size of the page. So it now stretches it down and covers it across the whole of the page. Look at that. But the great thing about this is, if I resize the browser window, that background image will resize as well. So the cover option is a really nice option to ensure that you have a background image that always stretches across the whole of the page, no matter how big or how small the page is, or what screen it's being displayed on. So you can see the effect there. One more thing that I like to set as well on the background, so that would be background size cover, is to come down and say I want the background attachment to be fixed. So now if we preview in the browser and have a look at what that does, when I scroll, the background image stays fixed and it looks like you're content is flying off over the top of the background image. So the image doesn't scroll up with the content anymore, and it looks like your content glides over the top. So that's how you can work with background images and gradients on your web pages to create the effects that we've looked at here.